Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Of course, where I'm broadcasting from is evening time, late evening. But would like to welcome all the people watching on Facebook Live. I do certainly appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the article review. Now, before I do the review, as a disclaimer, I would like to let you know that this is for review, informational, and educational purposes. It is not to take the credit for the intellectual property of the article. The full credit to the intellectual property of the article goes to the publisher, which in this case is CNBC, and the story by Jessica Dickler. And yes, that's her name, so not being funny about it. Anyway, headline reads Harvard boosts free tuition offer matching the Ivy Plus schools in quote affordability arms race, experts says. So, by the way, guys, I just actually heard of this. Well, I should not heard of it. I just actually saw this earlier this morning, my time, and it was quite surprising. It's like if they make under 200, which I'll explain in a moment, as you can see right here. If they make under $200,000, as in the, I believe it's the, yeah, if the family income is under $200,000, they get free tuition, room, and board. So I was like, wow, I thought it was so expensive to go to Harvard, but I guess if you're, I guess, if you're an elite student or you're somebody who they want to admit to the university, then they will be admitted, of course. Going to Harvard is a very, very exclusive and almost not in nothing. Well, I wouldn't say impossible, but from a practical standpoint, it's almost impossible to get into Harvard because there's so many. It's like the number one prestigious university, one of the most prestigious universities in the world for one, and for two, there's a lot of people who want to go there. So that's what it is. But anyway, here are some key points from this article here. Harvard University is the latest institution to become tuition free for undergraduates with family incomes below $200,000. And increasingly, top colleges are expanding financial aid rewards to make higher education more accessible. Harvard's announcement represents, quote, another step forward in affordability arms race, says Hafiz Lakhani, founder and president of Lakhani Coaching. I'm not sure what he has to do with Harvard, but that's okay. Ahead of you is a picture of the campus of Harvard. And Harvard University campus is in Cambridge, Massachusetts, not in Boston. So between Boston and Cambridge, there are actually both of them are both the they're in both two different counties. Okay, and there's actually a bridge separating the two. So yes, it's not Boston. People will mistakenly say it's in Boston. It's in Cambridge. And Cambridge is a different city altogether. That's for a point of clarification. Now, Harvard University is the latest institution to announce that tuition will be free for graduates with family incomes of $200,000 or less beginning in 2025-2026 academic year. It joins a growing list of select private colleges, many in the Ivy Plus category, that have also recently increased their financial aid rewards to attract top students wary of high college costs. Excuse me. In November, the University of Pennsylvania said it would guarantee a financial aid package covering tuition with grants and work study for students from families that make up to $200,000, which is the same thing as saying if you make under 200,000. Excuse me, up to. So 200,000 is the threshold. Below 200,000 is 199,999. So you get the idea. They use that term interchangeably. Let me get some water here. Yeah, anyway, so the same month, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology announced it would also become tuition free for undergraduates with family incomes below $200,000. Now, the trick here, guys, is that uh, the trick is not paying for it so much as it is getting into the college. That's the difficulty, or university. Additionally, last year, other schools like Vanderbilt University and Dartmouth expanded their aid to include full-time scholarships to students of families below a certain income threshold. Even before then, Harvard, along with Duke University, Princeton University, Yale University, and Northwestern University, introduced no loan policies, which meant they eliminated student loans altogether for their financial aid packages. Yeah, so it's great if it fits what you want to study, and it's great if you can get admitted to this school. Harvard's announcement is a long overdue given Princeton increased its threshold for 100% aid, including tuition, room, and board, to families who earn less than $100,000 in 2023. Okay, says Hafiz Lakhani, the founder and president of Lakhani Coaching in New York. So I guess this is a way for this person to get publicity, right? Still, it is a, quote, powerful, unquote, statement, he said. Quote, it signals Harvard is not only matching Princeton, but taking another step forward in the affordability arms race. Undergrad tuition at Harvard College was more than $56,000 this year, but the total cost of attendance, including room and board, was nearly $83,000, according to the school. Harvard College is the undergraduate is the undergraduate institution at the university. So just in case there's any confusion, a university is the overall organization, and then within the university you have colleges. Now colleges is each major field of study. So you have business, you have medicine, you have law. Those are what are called colleges. The analogy you can use to remember this would be like departments in a company. So Harvard would be, in its analogy, be a company, and the departments would be like the colleges, if you can catch that. Okay. And in addition to its tuition-free order, since 2023, university has made schooling completely free for students from families with annual incomes under $85,000, including tuition, food, housing, health insurance, and travel costs. Now that threshold will increase for families with income of $100,000 or less. Well, here's the thing is, that may sound amazing, but the thing is, things have gotten more expensive to live. So over time, first of all, because of inflation, money actually is worth less. So let's say year one in your money in the bank, let's say it was I don't know, whatever, $100,000, right? Let's say the currency devalued because of inflation 2%. Now that $100,000, it's $100,000, but in terms of spending power, it's worth the equivalent of 98,000. And so you go 2% of 2% of 2%. Okay, so you keep going 2%, 2%, 2%, or whatever it is. So like the other year it was what, 7% or 5%, whatever it was under Biden. So think of 7% you lost of your money. That's pretty crazy. As in the money's still there, but when I say lost of, I mean in terms of its value. So anyway, things are becoming more expensive in addition to, so there's different types of inflation. There's fiat currency inflation, which is basically the currency itself is actually worth less due to various factors, banking factors such as printing more money and other things. And of course, there's market inflation, which refers to the increase of price of goods. Now, currently, more than 50 colleges and universities are tuition free for students with household incomes below certain thresholds, according to data from the Princeton Review. And by the way, that's a very prestigious review. I remember even from high school, that was stuff about talking about, you know, the SAT, the ACT, those types of entrance exams for university. Of course, things have changed since then, but that's where all that information came from. Another nine, including College of the Ozarks and the U.S. Air Force Academy, charge no tuition at all, regardless of the family income. Bravo to Harvard, quote, bravo to Harvard and other colleges offering free tuition to qualified applicants, as well as to all schools working to increase their financial aid awards, says Robert Freneck. The Princeton Review's editor-in-chief, colleges making tuition free to eligible applicants are addressing the fear of college debt head-on. Now, that's all well and good, but the thing is, it's very difficult to get into the school. what they should do, before I show you this in a moment, what they should do is should have an online version where the public can take the same course for free, which is what MIT has with their open courseware, or MIT OCW. So it's, I believe the web address is like mit.ocw.edu, I believe. Yeah, and you can see all the same courses that MIT has. So MIT is very famous. It stands for Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and they're famous for their media lab and other science programs, and more recently, their finance program, which I was actually um, I was going through the courses and taking that course itself sort of unofficially, because when you go through the course online that they have for the open courseware, it's not you don't get course credit for it, but it's the knowledge that's important. Also, you might find that these same courses that's on their website may also be uploaded to YouTube. So take a look there. That's a big pro tip. And actually, I found that myself, so that's how I know. So anyway, so ahead of us is a related video entitled "Tuition Free Doesn't Necessarily Mean Debt Free." We are over reliant on student loans to help fund higher education, says NACAC CEO Angel Perez. And I recommend you watch that video, as actually at the time of filming this, I have not yet watched it, but I will. But anyway, I'll put the link in my Rumble channel. So I'll have this uploaded actually to three channels. One is Rumble, the other one is YouTube, and also Dailymotion. These are video sharing websites. Now, so for YouTube, they don't allow links to other news article sites, which makes no sense, especially if it's embedded onto YouTube, which makes no sense at all. But in terms of like YouTube, what I'll do is I'll put the name of my in the YouTube comments. I'll put the name of my Rumble channel and a link to my Rumble channel. What you'll do is you go to my Rumble channel. There'll be a link to this article on my Rumble channel, because on my Rumble channel it'll be on the top, which is this article review, and you'll be able to watch it accordingly. Also, by the way, if you're watching on Dailymotion, there'll also be in the comment section the actual link to this article. So, because I have all of my channels on Dailymotion, I'll cross promote for YouTube and Rumble in addition to Dailymotion. So the idea is cross promotion is the win-win scenario. So anyway, check that out. Watch it. It's about 8 minutes and 7 seconds, I believe, and then you'll be able to see it accordingly. So let's talk about the rest of this article here. The rising costs of college and ballooning student loan balances have been growing problems nationwide. You know why? Because there's a combination of situations that are happening. One is that they're majoring in, people are studying majors that, or getting majors that don't produce jobs. That is, jobs that relate to their major. So can you imagine a person studies for 4 years, right? And then what happens is they uh, they get a job and working in retail. It's like, so what was the point of actually like investing 4 years of your life to get an undergraduate degree? So I've actually met a person who went to Harvard. This was about 20 years ago, 20 something years ago. So I remember talking to him in 2006, and he was saying, yes, he just got his degree from Harvard. And I said, well, congratulations, that's wonderful. He says, yes, but I can't find a good job. And the guy lives in a big, I think it was Dallas or Houston, one of those Texas cities. And he was, yeah, I can't get a good job. He says, so I'm going to go back to graduate school to become a doctor. I said, if you want to be a doctor, be a doctor. But be a doctor because you want to do it, not just for the money. He says, I know, I know. Okay, I'm just letting you know. As I don't want you to do things for the wrong reason. I'm kind of talking to him like I'm his older brother, which age-wise I would be. But because I actually care about people that I interact with, I want to give people the right advice. And this point of doing things for the right reason makes a big difference. So anyway, taking on too much debt is now the top worry about college-bound students, according to a recent survey by the Princeton Review. Another report in 2022 found that most Americans overall see the benefits of higher education but are concerned about high tuition and student debt. 83% said college costs are prohibitive to low-income students. Well, gee, you're just realizing this now. Given the current climate, including Columbia's losing $400 million in federal funding and Harvard being on the watch list for similar cuts, uh, it's an incredibly generous move by Harvard to increase the student population, which is eligible for 100% aid. That's very nice. Like Connie said, quote, no doubt they will be willing to dip in their endowments for this commitment to social economic diversity, unquote. Well, I could say that, you know what, universities don't do things just to be nice. They do things because they're strategic. So, well, the result may be nice. You have to see that they're not just doing it just to be nice, but they're also doing it like people will announce charitable things or whatever, not because they're being nice, but because they want to get credit for it. So all I'm saying is you might as well just be honest about what you're trying to do. If you might as well just say, well, we're trying to get more attention to the university and to show our goodwill. Uh, you know what I mean? But they don't want to come out and say it. We're just gonna say, well, it's for this or this, it's for that. So yeah, I think the important thing is to be honest about your intentions because people will understand fully. And of course, there are options. And they're not the only one that's good to take certain programs at Harvard. Now, keep in mind, Harvard is not the best undergraduate university for all programs, such as for technology. MIT has a better reputation. Caltech has a better reputation. Princeton University has a better reputation, right? Now, what Harvard is really famous for is their graduate programs, like Harvard School of Business, Harvard Kennedy's was it yeah Kennedy School of Government, which is the political science like law. Yeah, that's the university law college. Yeah, and then also the College of Medicine. Okay. Anyway, let's continue on and finish this article up. So the article concludes says, however, even though more colleges are eliminating education debt from the outset, students will still be on the hook for other such expenses such as room and board, as well as books and fees. There may be a work-study requirement depending on the school. Okay, so what I suggest, I think, is you show up. You know what you do? You show up for maybe just show up for exams or something. The rest of the time, you just do all the studies remotely, and you save that money of having to be on campus. Being on campus can be a benefit. It definitely can save you time. But also, you have to consider the expense, and then also, if you take out loans, how much to pay back. So that's a horrible thing, in my opinion. Is all the student loan debt, and it's like once it gets so large, people. I mean, it's like it's not producing jobs, so how are people going to pay it off? And number two, once it gets so large, it becomes like the government's like going to have to rethink: is this producing too much in debt? What is the deal? And that's what it is. All right. Before I conclude this review, I would like to ask your opinion about the article, namely being uh, the article that we just went over that says entitled Harvard Boosts Free Tuition Offer, Matching the Other Ivy Plus Schools in Affordable Arms Race, Expert Says. What do you think of that article? Is it interesting? Is it relevant to your life? Do you find it valuable to have that information? And do you think it gives enough information for you to get an overall understanding of the topic? You're welcome to give your opinion in comments below, but I do ask that you keep it civil and relevant as we're only trying to produce something positive to this experience. If you have any suggestions or criticism, make sure it is in the constructive nature. Just saying, for example, this sucked or that wasn't very good. It's like with no explanation or no suggestions. is not useful, and I will just block the person. I'll delete their comment and block them from commenting in the future. So we need to keep this civil and remember that we're trying to grow the audience and also trying to only provide a positive experience. So keep that in mind. All right, with that said, I would like to first of all thank all the people watching this on Facebook, not only live or and recorded. So I'd like to, the people watching this live or recorded on Facebook, I'd like you to please click the thumbs up on the video. That way it'll be pushed through the algorithm over in the Facebook, and more people would be able to see that other people enjoyed it and they found a value in it. For other people watching the recorded version, not only on YouTube but also on Rumble and Dailymotion, what I'd like you to do is please click thumbs up on the video. That way, actually like on the video looks like a thumbs up as well, just like Facebook. Please click like on the video. That way it'll be pushed to the algorithm and more people would be able to view it and enjoy it. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. That way you'll have access to all the content on my channels. That is, I upload almost the same content for both YouTube, Rumble, and of course also Dailymotion. So, and the content ranges from product to gaming review, course review, fan fiction AI, content creation, and also AI generated storytelling. In the future, I'll be putting the transcript of this video actually on my blog, so stay tuned for that. I'm building those types of things, and I'll be experimenting more with voices and other things. So if people have suggestions on what can work, now what I'm doing is I'm working with a lower budget because not only do I want to see how this initially works before I invest more, but also of course everybody has a budget, and I'm no exception to the rule when it comes to that. All right, with that said, I would like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I do appreciate it. I'd like to wish you a great day wherever you are in the world. Take care, and I'll certainly talk to you next time.